Good morning, everybody in Facebook land. It is what is this? 5:46 a.m. I'm getting a little bit of a start here on this day. Had some running to do yesterday, and got to bed a little bit late. A lot of stuff going on, and I've talked in the last couple of days about being positive about wearing masks. That's really what we should do. Let's have fun with it. I'm going to get into that some more. If you haven't seen it, you can go back. It's in my it's in my timeline there, live streamed from day before yesterday, I think it was. Maybe a little bit yesterday. Had a lot of running to do yesterday, so I didn't live stream as much or as frequently. I don't know how that's going to turn out today, but I did need to get this out of the way because we're talking about some very interesting developments. Um, and first of all, as we know, in Alabama, the Senate race between Sessions and Tuberville, which I had already, before we got anywhere close to this, I'd already checked Tuberville out, and I knew that he was not going to be my type of people. And so I was already aware of that. Of course, Sessions was not either, but Tuberville kind of makes Sessions look a little bit tame. Um, okay, here it shows up a little bit different on here than it did on my tablet. But Tuberville is, and if you notice the title I've got here, the Republican All right, folks. Second attempt this morning. Um, one of those things that your computer decides it's going to update itself. And it did. So I'm back. This morning, look at what we're talking about right here, the Republican anarchist movement. And you're saying, anarchist? Republicans? Anarchist? Well, we're going to pay attention to the quotes that count here this morning on this little broadcast at 6 a.m. So I'm going to start over here at al.com I was totally yakking all that time with no freaking mic. Okay. I'm gonna have to start over, folks. I've totally lost it here. My mic um is was muted, so I gotta start all over. I had a good rant going too, and now I've got to begin from the beginning. Oh Lord. Okay, let's try this again. And I guess that was muted the entire time. So I started at 6 o'clock, and now it's 11 after. So I get to go over everything I just said. Let me have a sip of this. It's non-alcoholic. I don't use this adult beverage crap. I get tired of this change of lingo. It's the whole thing is just silly in my opinion. Adult beverage. What the fuck? What's an adult beverage? Is it alcoholic or not alcoholic? Grow up, people. God, you talk about a land of snowflakes. Jesus fuck. Okay, back to where I'm coming from. No, this is not alcoholic. This is just a soda. I wanted a soda this morning. Thank you very much. I'm rarely ever drink coffee. I'm not one of those, I gotta have my coffee people. Soda. Summertime is not the time to be drinking something piping hot. All right. So as we know this week, Tommy Tuberville, the coach for a college football team, had a run-up against Jeff Sessions, who's been a career politician. Tuberman won the runoff. He's now the Republican nominee for Senate in the state of Alabama. I'd already checked into Tuberville some time ago and was not at the least impressed with this man. And now, as we shall see, he's not giving any interviews, but since he won, he allowed a 10-minute telephone interview. 10 minutes. So AL.com asked him some questions. And in the questions, they asked about where he's, first of all, would he debate Doug Jones? And he was very non-committal about the possibility of debating Doug Jones. He was almost dismissive about it. So this 10-minute phone call interview, AL.com asked him if he supported the statewide mask order that Governor Kay Ivey issued today. Now, I want to show you the hypocrisy, the ignorance of people like Tuberville. Totally, outrageously ignorant. And of course, it shows the ignorance of those that support him by not paying attention to what he's saying here. When asked about the mandate for wearing masks, his response was, I'm not for the government telling us what to do. Okay, so no speed limits, get rid of seatbelt laws, go in these counties and jurisdictions that have banned smoking in bars and restaurants and whatnot, get rid of that. Don't tell us what to do. He says, I think we need to be wearing masks. I think we need to be socially responsible. I think we need to understand this is a serious situation. But I don't like the government telling us what to do. I think we need to wear seatbelts. I don't think the government should be telling us to wear them. I think we don't need to be smoking, but I don't think the government needs to tell us where we can smoke. I think we don't need to be overindulging in alcohol, but I don't think the government needs to tell us we shouldn't drink and drive. I think we need not to be overindulging in anything that gets us high, but I don't think the government should tell us that we couldn't smoke a natural plant. But no, it doesn't go there, just with these masks to protect us, just these masks. So I'm not for mandatory. Sure to goodness we can protect our own selves without the government dictating every move we make. Amen, brother. So get off my back. Leave me the fuck alone. And this is going to come back and haunt you, and I'm going to make sure it does. If you, perchance, beat Doug Jones, I'm going to make sure these words forever are implanted and shared over and over and over anytime you support any government intrusion into my life. Paying taxes should be mandatory. Not mandatory, should be voluntarily done. So I'm not for mandatory. But I'm for wearing masks. I'm not for mandatory seatbelts, but I'm for wearing seatbelts. I'm not for mandating not to smoke pot, but I don't think you should. I'm not for mandating not smoking in a restaurant or bar, but I think you shouldn't. Why don't you take it across the board? Why is it just on this one subject? Because you're playing to an ignorant segment of our population that for some reason has fallen on this Trump suggested thing here. It's horrible. It's just horrible. But that doesn't stop there. Let's go over to Georgia. Georgia's mayor. Okay, here we are. Georgia's mayor. The mayor of Atlanta passed an ordinance, signed a bill, whatever you want to call it, in Atlanta, saying that if you do not wear a mask in public in the Atlanta metro area, that you can be fined or put in jail for 6 months. Kemp, who is the governor of the state of Georgia, comes back and says that this measure violates his emergency orders prohibiting local leaders from adding to the state's requirements to protect against coronavirus. They're fighting any protection. Okay, get rid of the vaccines. There's a lot of people that think these vaccines are wrong. Get the fuck rid of them. You should get the vaccine, but you're not allowing kids to go to school if they don't get the vaccine. You see, this is not consistent. It's bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. He has sued Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms for this law she passed in Atlanta, or she signed, or whatever you call it. The lawsuit escalates a feud between these two, Kemp and Bottoms, after she had issued this order that makes not wearing a mask within city limits punishable by a fine or up to 6 months in jail. Keep in mind, in early Friday morning, which is today, Georgia reported 131,287 coronavirus infections, 3,105 deaths. This is according to data from the Johns Hopkins University. 3,104 Georgians have died. 9 of my family are amongst the 106,000 who tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, I've been sued by Governor Kemp for a mask mandate, Bottoms tweeted Thursday, shortly after the lawsuit was announced. A better use of taxpayer money would have been to expand testing and contact tracing. Kemp said the lawsuit was an attempt to support business owners as local leaders, undermining economic growth. It's all about bucks. Fuck your health. It's all about bucks. A lot of mayors stepped up in this debate and supported the mayor of Atlanta. The one mayor of Augusta said, I've always have these 3 W's that I've consistently said. Wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. If you're going to keep people from dying in the state of Georgia, you've got to do these 3 W's. Savannah mayor Thursday said he felt the order added another thing for cities to fight against. Not only we're fighting against coronavirus on one hand, it appears as if we're now fighting our state on the other hand. We're going to do what we have to protect Savannahans. This is the fight for our lives. And although Kemp's office argued the order against mask mandates supports residents, how does this fucking support residents? A handful that are in this anti-mask wearing. So why don't you get the anti-vaxxers in that too? Why is it just a mask? I'm against speed limits. I mean, this is just totally retarded. No, I'm not against speed limits, but I'm just saying. This is totally ignorance. I mean, totally downright ignorance. What can I say? But that's what we're dealing with, folks. That's what you've got to choose from. And this is where our country, our nation has gone with the bullshit. Totally. So this is kind of a short second run on this little morning's thing here. But that's the political world. That's just part of it. That's not the worst. That's some of the top today. And if you watch this, you know, this is the whole rhetoric they're using as if, Trump has promoted this idea that this is really blown out of proportion. It's not near as bad as what the media wants to project it. And then just a few days ago, he mandated that the CDC no longer gets this data from the states. The data is coming straight to the White House. It's already been removed from the CDC. There's only one logical reason he'd want that done, because he wants to manipulate the data. It's, that's what they do. It's what he does, is set it up to don't trust. That's like he did with the news agencies. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Put that out, and the court of Trump just falls in line. Trump says it's fake news. It's got to be fake news. Trump said shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. Almighty Trump. Almighty Trump. They don't question anything. They're laying down, drinking the Kool-Aid, and that's what they've got. Kool-Aid drinkers. All right, folks. Well, today is another day that we're going to deal with a lot of negative things, because that mandate went in order. I think it was yesterday at 5 o'clock for wearing a mask in Alabama. People are already not happy with it. I got stares yesterday when I had to stop a couple of places and I had on my mask. And this is what you got right here. This is what the hell you've got. We've got a restaurant in Huntsville, Alabama, that has put out that this whole, all the people, including Ivy and other officials that supported this rule to wear masks, are not allowed to eat in their restaurant. They're calling it draconian health orders. Well, I think maybe the virus is draconian, that requires some draconian health there. It's ignorance. It's just total freaking ignorance. And people are getting sick, and people are dying. It goes and it goes and it goes. It's just really, really freaking retarded what people are doing here. So let's look at this. We'll focus just on Alabama for a minute. And the numbers are just up, 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 up. So where are we today? Where are we today? And I'm not sure exactly where this falls in line with the whether this is updated as of yesterday or today. But Alabama has confirmed 61,088 cases, and I know several that's involved in that number, with a total of 1,232 deaths. United States is 3.53 million, with 138,000 deaths, and that's going up an average of 1,000 to 2,000 a day. But there you go. But it's a joke. It's exaggerated. Blah 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 blah. That's what they're saying. That is exactly what they're saying. Unbelievable. Well, there's a little catch up this morning. I'll check in throughout the day. I've got a few things to do. So there you go. Y'all have a good day. Remember, turn this into a positive. Quit being stupid, people. Nobody's oppressing you. Depression is coming to I grew up with the saying, and I've said it before, you've heard it: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Do you wear a seatbelt? Or do you defy that order? Doesn't affect anybody but you. Is that oppressing you to wear a seatbelt? Some people believe so. It's still law. And it's been proven to save lives. There you go, folks. This just gets weirder and weirder and weirder by the day. And I could go on, and I just don't have the energy this morning to continue that rant. Maybe later.